Hello everyone, this is Akash Gowde, Assistant Professor at Rajmata Jijau Shikshan Prasarak Mandals, Institute of Computer and Management Research at MBA Department. Today, I am going to discuss with you
the project management.
which is for the MBA second year, third semester. I hope you all will enjoy this session. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Have any queries, drop me a mail. Let's start.
Hello everyone, this is Akash Gowde, Assistant Professor at Rajmata Jijau Shikshan Prasarak Mandals, Institute of Computer and Management Research at MBA Department. Today, I am going to discuss the subject project management, having subject code 308. This is generic elective university level subject. In that, I am going to discuss the chapter number 1, overview of project management. Chapter number 1, overview of project management. This is the second part of this chapter. In that chapter, the key point to be discussed is project life cycle, project stockholders, project management structure. Let's see the one by one. Project life cycle. Every programmed project or product has certain phases of development. The different phases of development in an investment proposal or project are called as life cycle. A clear understanding of these phases permits entrepreneurs, managers, and executives to have better control over existing and potential resources in the achievement of their desired goal. Phases of project life cycle. Project life cycle is complex process consisting of different steps arranged in a sequential order. There are 7 steps in the project life cycle, such as project identification and appraisal, pre-feasibility study, feasibility study, detailed design, project implementation, operation and maintenance, monitoring and evaluation. All the steps given in different studies can be grouped into 3 main phases. They are pre-investment phase, that is planning. Second, implementation phase, that is implementation. Third one, operational phase, that is evaluation. Now let's see all these 3 phases in detail in next slide. First one is pre-investment phase. The first phase of the cycle describes the preliminary evaluation of an idea. It consists of identification of investment opportunities, preliminary project analysis, feasibility study, and decision making. Project idea eliminates from the following problems: potential and the needs of the people of an area. Plan priorities when planning is done by the government demands and supply projection of various goods and services. Patterns of imports and export over a period of time. Natural resources which can be served as the base of the potential manufacturing activity. Scope of extending existing lines of activity. Consumption pattern in other countries at comparable stages of economic development. On the basis of the investment opportunity, it is possible to conceive a number of projects out of which a particular project may be consistent with development objectives of the area. During this phase, the following aspects of the project may be carefully designed to enable implementation. Let's see one by one. Project infrastructure and enabling services, system design and basic engineering packages, organization and manpower, schedule and budgets, licensing and government clearances, finance, system and procedure, identification of project manager, design basis, general condition for purchase and contracts, construction resources and materials, work packaging. This phase is involved with preparation for the project to take out smoothly. Once a project opportunity is conceived, it needs to be examined. Preliminary project analysis concerned with the marketing, technical, financial, and economic aspect of the project. It seeks to determine whether the project is prima facie worthwhile to justify a feasibility study and what aspects of the project are critical to its viability and hence call for an in-depth investigation. More details to the complete feasibility study results in a reasonably adequate formation of the project in terms of location, production capacity, production technology, and material inputs. The feasibility study contains fairly specific estimates of project cost, means of financing, sales revenue, project cost, financial profitability, and social profitability. Based on the through feasibility study of the project, owner or sponsor or financer can decide whether to accept or reject particular project. In other words, the decision whether investment on the project should be made or not has to be made at this stage. Second is implementation phase. The implementation phase of an industrial project involves setting up of manufacturing facilities. After judging the worthiness, project needs to be designed for the implementation, drawing, blueprints, and the sequence in which the various activities concerning the project needs to be carried out. The main activities under this phase are project and engineering design. It consists of site probing and prospecting, preparation of blueprints, plan design, plan engineering, and selection of machinery equipment, negotiations and contractions. It covers the activities like project financing, acquisition of technology, construction of building and civil work, provision of utilities, supply of machine and equipment, marketing, arrangement. Construction. This step involves the activities like site preparation, construction of building, erection and installation of machinery and equipment. Third one is operation phase. It is the longest phase in terms of time span. It begins when the project is commissioned and ends when the project is wound up. This is the transition phase in which the hardware built with the active involvement of various agencies is physically handed over for production. This phase is basically a cleanup phase for project personnel. The main concern of this phase is on smooth, uninterrupted operation of machinery and plant, development of suitable norms of productivity, establishment of a good quality for the product, and securing the market acceptance of the product. It aims to realize the projection made in the project regarding sales, production, cost and profits. Project monitoring and project evaluation are two vital activities under this phase. Project monitoring is a step towards achieving properly identified objectives through a carefully laid down strategy. Each activity in the project implementation should be carefully watched so that the progress may be measured and any deviation from the expected progress be identified in time. Project evaluation refers to post-investment analysis. It aims at finding out whether the project has achieved the objectives for which it was taken up and whether it has created the anticipated or intended impact. This helps in developing an insight for future investment and better planning. Third, the life cycle of project narrates the methodology of developing, maintaining and controlling an investment proposal at its various phases in the life cycle. The various steps in the project life cycle. What is stakeholders in project management? Stakeholders are those with any interest in your project outcome. They are typically the member of a project team, project managers, executive, project sponsors, customers, and users. Stakeholders are people who are invested in the project and who will be affected by your project at any point along the way, and their input can directly impact the output. It's a good idea to practice good stakeholders management and consistently communicate with them in order to collaborate on the project. After all, they have stake in how it all turns out. Typical key stockholders in projects. The typical key project stockholders you will find in any project will include some of the following, such as Customer. Customer is the direct user of a product or service, often both internal and external to the company executing the project. Project Manager. Project Manager is the project leader. Project team members. It is the group executing the project under the project manager's leadership. Project Sponsor. It is a project financer. Steering Committee. It is the advisory group providing guidance on the key decision, includes the sponsor, executive, and the key stockholders from the organization. Executive. It is the top management in the company executing the project, those who direct the organization strategy. Resource Managers. It is the other managers who control resources needed for executing the projects. There are many more depending on the project, some which may include seller, suppliers, contractors, owners, government agencies, media outlets, even society at large. There are three types of project management structures. An organization structure could be described as the official line of authority and control within an organization. Project management structure tells us how reporting relationships work in a particular organization. Depending on the environment the organizations find itself operating in, the goal they set for themselves, and the nature of work being done. You will find that organization are structured in three ways. The first one, functional organization structure. The second one, matrix organization structure. And the third one, projected organization structure. Now that we know how organization structure are categorized, let's take a closer look at each one of them to see what makes them unique. Second one is projected organization structure. The projected organization structure is the complete opposite of the functional organization structure, even though the organization may still group staff according to their work function. In this case, the project management team structure is organized in such a way that the project manager has project authority. He has jurisdiction over the project budget schedule and the project team. You will find him at the top of the hierarchical structure, calling all the shots, with the employees playing supporting roles for the projects. At the end of the project team members are released and resource directed towards more relevant areas. What's great about this kind of a structure is that there is a clear, established line of authority resulting in faster decision making and approval. Communication becomes easier and more effective, and project team members gain more experience working on the different types of projects as the needed for them arises. A major disadvantage of this type of organizational structure, however, would be that employees could see themselves being under a lot of pressure most of the time, especially if they happen to work on multiple projects at the same time. This often leads to poor communication among the team members, as everyone is left more or less playing catch up. Let's see the functional organization structure. In a functional organization structure, you will find the components of hierarchy system where authority-driven decision on budget, schedule, and equipment rest on the shoulders of the functional manager, who possesses a significant level of expertise in the same field. That is to say that the project manager in this type of organization has little to no authority here. In some functional organization, the position does not even exist. What will you find, however, is that the work is broken down into departments such as human resource department, sales department, finance department, public relations, and administration, etc. In simple terms, it can be linked to that of a more traditional company where staff is presided over by a supervisor based on their functions within the organization, and communication is often done through the department heads to senior management. What is financing about this type of organization structure is that employees appear to be more skilled in their respective departments. thereby leading to greater work efficiency. Everyone knows what to hold accountable if something were to go wrong or responsible are predetermined. On the downside, the work may prove monotonous over time, which could result in less enthusiasm and reduced loyalty to the organization. In addition to that, you would also find that cross-departmental communication becomes poor and the high level of bureaucracy could affect decision making negatively. The third one is matrix organizational structure. The matrix organizational structure can be found lying somewhere between the functional organizational structure and the projected organizational structure depending on what type of a matrix structure is being run. For instance, the strong matrix organizational structure has some similarities with that of a projected organizational structure in the sense that the project manager is responsible for a project. If the organization is running a weak matrix structure, then the project authority will fall on the hands of a functional manager. As it is in a functional organization, if an organization finds itself working in a dynamic environment, then this might be a right structure to run with it, and it promotes greater efficiency, helping the organization respond to customer demands or changes in the workplace faster. This is easily achieved because while the project manager exhibits project authority in a horizontal manner, the functional manager does so in a vertical, flowing downwards. For example, the project manager could be responsible for handling project schedule or budget while the functional manager will be responsible for outlining and distributing responsibility, overseeing the performance of equipment, etc.